Understanding the Lunar Phases by Islamic Science Research Institute, Jakarta, Indonesia.
Understanding the Formation of Lunar Phases, video number 167, titled Surah Ya Sin, 37 to 40 as the Sharia Basis for the Global Islamic Calendar, explains that the changes in the moon's phases from the waxing crescent, hilal, to the full moon, and then shrinking again to waning crescent, urjunil qodim, occur due to the difference in the apparent angular velocity between the sun and the moon. Therefore, even if the Earth did not rotate on its axis, lunar phases development would still happen. In other words, the formation of lunar phases is independent of the alternation between day and night, as lunar phases are a global astronomical phenomenon. Meanwhile, the visibility of the crescent moon is a local astronomical phenomenon because its reference is the local horizon. Consequently, a local astronomical phenomenon should not override a global astronomical phenomenon. This video also explains that the conjunction Hashima serves as the zero point that marks the transition between the last manzil and the first manzil in the Islamic calendar. Theoretically, even 1 second after conjunction, the formation of the new crescent is already happening, regardless of whether or not it is visible from the local horizon. This video will elaborate on the progression of lunar phase changes with a few simplified assumptions for visualization purposes. 1. We assume that the Earth is not rotating on its axis, so there is no alternation between day and night. 2. The moon orbits the Earth with daily changes, beginning at the moment of conjunction, when the sun, moon, and Earth align along the same meridian plane. The inset in the upper left corner shows the appearance of the moon's phases. At conjunction, no part of the moon is illuminated. This is the zero point described in Surah Ya Sin, 39 to 40, known in astronomical terms as the new moon. On the first day, the crescent moon forms, as shown in the inset. This phase continues growing in the following days, known as the waxing crescent. Day 2, Day 3, Day 4, Day 5, Day 6, Day 7. On the seventh day, the illuminated portion of the moon is 50%, forming a semicircle on the right side, as shown in the inset. The lunar phase continues to grow into the waxing gibbous phase. Day 8, Day 9, Day 10, Day 11, Day 12, Day 13, Day 14. On the 14th day, the illuminated portion of the moon is 100%, appearing as a full circle, as shown in the inset. The phase then begins to shrink, transitioning into the waning gibbous phase. Day 15, Day 16, Day 17, Day 18, Day 19, Day 20, Day 21. On the 21st day, the illuminated portion of the moon forms a semicircle, mirroring the phase seen on the seventh day. The inset in the upper left shows this. The moon continues to shrink, transitioning into the waning crescent phase. Day 22, Day 23, Day 24, Day 25, Day 26, Day 27 or 28. Surah Ya Sin, verses 39 to 40, describe this as the moon's final manzillah, known as urjunil. Verse 40 explains that in this last manzillah, the sun has not yet overtaken the moon. In other words, this verse emphasizes that conjunction marks the zero point of transition from the last manzillah to the first manzillah in a synodic lunar cycle within the Islamic calendar. Throughout the given slides, the individual marked in green will never witness the phases of the moon in their lifetime, as they are always in daylight. The intensity of sunlight is too strong, rendering the moon's phases and variations imperceptible. Conversely, the individual marked in orange will only be able to observe the moon's phases from the first quarter, day 7, to the third quarter, day 21. Beyond this range, the moon will remain entirely below the horizon and therefore unseen. This prompts an intriguing question. Should one assume that the large waxing gibbous moon does not exist simply because it is invisible? Additionally, this verse illustrates the immense power of Allah, as the sun overtaking the moon does not imply a collision between these celestial bodies. This is because they exist in vastly different spatial dimensions. The distance from the sun to Earth is approximately 150 million kilometers, whereas the distance from the moon to Earth is only about 400,000 kilometers. This video concludes that the formation of lunar phases is independent of the Earth's rotation on its axis. In other words, lunar phases do not rely on the alternation between day and night. Therefore, the crescent moon's size and appearance are unaffected by its visibility from the constantly shifting local horizon due to Earth's rotation.